Hi everybody. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. I'm Patricia Van Casey. I'm the Scituate Town Administrator, and I also have the privilege of chairing the Scituate Harbor Cultural District. So so happy to have you all here, and thank you to everybody who's come out. And as you can see, we arranged to have the first non-rain day in about 10 years. So we may talk faster if it clouds up, but we'll see how it goes. So on behalf of the town, the Board of Selectmen, we're so happy to be able to be in this partnership with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Cultural District and the Scituate Harbor Cultural District, along with our own local cultural council, to launch officially the Scituate Harbor Cultural District that was designated a few months ago. And that's just one of many, many things that are happening in Scituate, and particularly in the harbor here, with the Scituate Merchants Association, the Chamber of Commerce, the fishermen. So we hope this will just be the first of many, many events that you're going to want to come back to Scituate over and over again if you don't live here. And if you do live here, then we all know how lucky you are. So thank you. So we have a few speakers, and I hope everybody has a program, and they're going to speak more specifically to other items about the district, but I sort of want to set the table in sort of a broad range to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So we're a cultural district, so the first thing we think of is, you know, what is it? What does culture really mean? So I love Wikipedia. So one of the definitions of culture I found was the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty cultural. So then I looked up synonyms, and synonyms for culture were education, cultivation, enlightenment, good taste, refinement, and intellectual and artistic awareness. And I thought, okay, I'm closing in on something here. So I then found the best description, I think, that sums up what we're doing here today. And it's a quote from Johann von Goethe, who was a German writer and statesman. And he said, "One ought to hear a little music, read a little poetry, see a fine picture every day of their life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful." So tonight, and this is the beginning of it, we have a whole bunch of beautiful for you all along Front Street and Cole Parkway, and even in every place else in Scituate. We have artists, we have music, we have poetry, we have demonstrations, we have great food. So we want everybody to take advantage of that after they leave here today. Now, the last thing I want to say is we had some angels that helped create this district. And our guiding archangel was Bob Serino. Bob had a passion for the district as we were doing the application and forming it, and he was intimately involved in it every step of the way, and met with Mass Cultural Council when they came to sort of shop us to make sure we were worthy, and also was our biggest cheerleader. So it was really with great sadness that we learned of Bob's passing last month. But we know that today's event, and all those that will follow in the coming years, will reflect Bob's commitment and enthusiasm for this initiative. So I would ask you all, if you could right now, to please join me in a moment of silence for Bob Serino. Thank you. Now it's my honor and privilege to invite one of my 5 bosses, John Dennehy, the Vice Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. John?
Hey, hello.
Can you hear me in the back? Yeah. Sorry, thank you. Oh, perfect. Can you hear me in the back? Yeah. Well, I'm here to say thank you very much for all coming and to welcome you to this event. You know, this event could not have happened for for our town, but for a number of people who I want to at least recognize and acknowledge. About a year ago, Board of Selectmen are invited to Boston to what's called the Mass Municipal Association. It's an event that we can go to various seminars and extrapolate things that we can bring back to our community and say, how about this, how about that? One of the seminars I went to happened to be the Cultural Arts District, and I went and I heard about how New Bedford has one, and Natick has one, and Pittsfield has one, all over the place. And I came back and I said to Tricia, I said, Tricia, why not take a look at this? Why not get involved in this? And she said, John, there are people who already have an application ready to go. And it's for that reason that I want to at least acknowledge these following people so that people understand, these people take a look around and say, how can I make my community better? People like Patrice May, Paul Cuxtus, Marie Flaherty, Patricia Vancasey, David Ball, Linda Ferguson, Stephen Litchfield, Chris McConaughey, Tom Clark, Robin Glazer, Keld Mahoney, Robert Serino, Janet Carnaccio, Ann Burbine, Doug Smith, Monty Newman. Now I mention this because this is a collaboration of businesses, arts, artisans, public officials getting involved to trying to make your community better. And you know what, without their help, without their idea and bringing it to fruition, this would not have happened. And you think about it, you look around, you say, this harbor is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. It tends to be the center for the energy of this town, and it has been. It's the reason why people actually ended up, shall we say, landing here and living here. First, it was for their actual being to be able to live and survive, sustaining themselves, fishing. And then people decided to reside here, and you see these homes that actually some still exist on the other side of the hotel going down the street. And then you get to see the history. We have 3 significant buildings along the route, that is the Cultural Arts District. It's 1.5 miles. It starts at the genesis of what the name of the town is, the Cold Brook, Scituate Brook. And it goes all the way around to the harbor, to the lighthouse. And it passes the Abigail and Rebecca Bates House from 1650. It passes what is the oldest building in the Commonwealth in New England, the Barker Tavern, 1636. And then you go and you take a look and you say, look at the businesses. The businesses are here. The fishermen are here. It brings in $16 million a year that generates. Then you have the people with arts and crafts, people who have signs, people who have artwork. And it's amazing when you begin to look around and you say, this is a phenomenal place. You have great restaurants. And that's the reason why you look around and you say, wow, what a great vision. This would not have happened, though, but for 3 people. And I think it's fair to say that these are the visionaries. The people I named are the ones who put it into action, who took it and ran with it, who said from the bottom down going up to their community, we're going to make it better. But it was the visionaries who made it actually happen. Patrice May, Bob Serino, and Elizabeth Cranston. And it's those type of people who make our living here a great place. And I have to say, I want to thank you all and for you for doing just that. Thank you. Now, I'm going to introduce Jim Cantwell, and I just want to say, Jim, thanks for coming, and as I say, enjoy. The final thing is this: how fitting that we're kicking off the Scituate Harbor Art Walk tonight as a part of the designation of us being a cultural arts district. And I say, I'm very proud because this is something that is very unique to our town. We're the only one on the South Shore. Plymouth is the next one. And it just shows you that, because of these visions, the town is being put forward in such a unique way that we all should be very proud. And obviously you're here to kick it off, and I have to say I'm very proud at least to be a part of it and to just be able to say thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you. Jim?
Thanks very much, John. And actually, when I came in, Tom Clark said, wow, we hit the big time, because Anita Walker, our Executive Director for the Mass Cultural Council, is here. I'm going to be able to introduce her in a moment. But Anita, thank you so very much for coming. And with thanks to so many folks from the Scituate Business Association, Scituate Arts Association for our being able to be and to dedicate our Scituate Harbor Cultural District. I think John had mentioned that on the South Shore, we are, for us and just Plymouth, there are only 30 of these districts in the entire state. And it's such a great testament to the legacy that we have here in Scituate. Starting from Scituate Brook, you said for St. Mary's with Father Cannon, going over and around to Old Scituate Lighthouse. It is not true that David Ball was almost a priest. David, where are you? But it is true that David has a reverent personality and makes many things come together. But Patrice, thank you for welcoming us and the tremendous work that you did. God bless. With Bob Serino, we just were reading the article that was about him and the work in the Globe, and Elizabeth Cranston. I know Paul Custis I saw when I first came in. But as Tom Clark, when we talked about saying how here on Front Street, as Tom, in his words, culture just jumps right out at you. And as we talked about the fabrics of our town, we have artwork we walk by, unique shops that are here, historic landmarks, our restaurants. And I did want to underscore the heritage of our fishing industry, where Scituate and Marshfield together, Anita, you wouldn't know, but we have the 4th most productive fishing ports in the state. Here at Scituate, Marshfield is one block, and it's a big part of our heritage, and I'm glad that the ocean's always reflected here. By the way, the other thing, where the Lucky Fin is located right over here, used to be an artist colony, part of our heritage. I know David Ball is here and has cards that would show people that it is such a tremendous testament to the art history and to the artwork that we have, as well as the culture, for us all to be here today. So we know it's going to draw people from other towns. Indeed, Trish Van Casey's sister Holly is here. Holly, I want you to come up because I have a presentation that we're going to be doing too. Who's here from the Board of Selectmen that wants to accept this, by the way? John Denny just spoke, right? Marty's here. Trish, please come up. Mara, please come on up. I don't know if we have the whole board, but if you guys will come up here. Holly, you have to come up too.
Oh, jeez.
Trish said, "Don't embarrass my sister," so that's why she's. All right. We'll come right on in here. On behalf of the Commonwealth, it really is such a great honor to represent Scituate, and this is really a tremendous honor for our community. On behalf of the Commonwealth, I'm here to say, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to the town of Scituate in recognition of Scituate Harbor being designated as a cultural district by the Massachusetts Cultural Council. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. We're signed this 6th day of May by Bob DeLeo, the Speaker of the House, myself, Jim Cantwell, and with this, Anita, I said more funding should be coming, not only for the Cultural Council, but we know how this will open up great things here for all of us. So congratulations to all, congratulations to the board, and congratulations to our town. Thanks so much. And now it is my great honor, as I was saying, to introduce Anita. And this is, as Tom Clark said, this is a big thing for us to have Anita Walker, the Executive Director of our Massachusetts Cultural Council. Anita.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is absolutely a delight to be here. I am so honored and humbled on behalf of the Massachusetts Cultural Council and the citizens of the Commonwealth to congratulate you for the designation of Scituate Harbor Cultural District. Yes! I know how hard many people here work to get this designation. It is not an easy program to enter into. And as the representative knows, we started this program 3 years ago with no money. That's not usually a very enticing thing to say to communities. Come on, work really hard to make a cultural district and we'll give you no money. But you know what? There is something about this program and the opportunity and sort of the platform and framework where people can come together. I think the real magic of it is what we've heard so much about already in the earlier speakers. It gives us a chance to just stand still a minute and look around where we are and appreciate what is real and special and authentic about this place. Those of you who live here, walking down the streets every day, you see the harbor every day. Sometimes you probably don't even notice that it's there anymore. But to just pause pause a minute and realize how really special this is. The history that is the foundation of this community and the people who have made it what it is today. I think that's really the power of the Cultural District program. Nevertheless, we need money. So I don't want to leave that out. And thanks to the vigorous and passionate advocacy of your elected representatives, including Representative Cantwell, we were fortunate this year to experience an increase in our budget, and the very first thing we did was make grants to our cultural districts, and Scituate was among them. In fact, you just snuck in. You were actually past the fiscal year, but we said we're going to bring Scituate in because we know how hard you worked, and we know that even a little bit of money is really meaningful. We're hoping to be able to provide that kind of support again next year. But that's not all. We're going for 2 bites of the apple, Representative.
1 million?
Yep, we are, in addition, many of you probably are on our email chains and know we're in the throes of battle over the Mass Cultural Council budget. And that process is moving forward. We're on to the Senate. But in addition to that budgetary request, we are also taking the opportunity to see if we can find some investment from a separate pool of funding, which is the Economic Development Bill. Because, as has been said, a lot of what's happening here in your cultural district is all about economic prosperity for this community. So we are asking for $1 million for our cultural districts for wayfinding and for marketing. We know those are the 2 top things that our cultural districts need. So you will be hearing from us when the time is right to let all of your elected representatives know how important that would be for you. Just a couple little things I'd like to mention about cultural districts, aside from the real sense of community that they bring to the cities and towns where they are. We know that in the 32 cultural districts that we currently have designated, they embrace 500 separate organizations who have come to the table to support these, a collective 500 separate organizations. And in just the 3 years since we've been running the Cultural District program, we've collectively seen an increase of 15% in visitors in our cultural districts. So when you bring a community together, when you highlight what's really special about it, when you name it, and when you intentionally program it, good things happen. Cultural districts are always a combination of collective impact and individual imagination. And I have to add to the comments made earlier about Bob Serino. When I came on the site visit, of course, I didn't really know many people who were here, but my first best friend became Bob Serino. And you won't be surprised to hear that. His wife became my chauffeur, thanks to him. And he had such an imagination and a vision about what this should be, and he was so certain that this needed to happen, and it needed to happen now. So, you know, when you're looking at Bob Serino and he says, you know, do you really have to wait until the January meeting? Don't you think you might be able to do something special for us? Who can say no to Bob Serino? So we were able to accelerate our work in order to designate this district so that Bob Serino would know the legacy that he leaves behind with his imagination in making this come to pass. I know I am standing between you and the champagne toast and the band. So I'm going to wrap up my remarks by just saying congratulations, thank you for all of your hard work, and onward.
I want to thank you all for being here. On behalf of all the members of the Cultural District, including Bob, who is with us in spirit, I'd like to, you all have a glass of champagne, raise a toast, and a toast to good people, to Bob, to the Cultural District, to this town. May it go on for a long time from now. Cheers. I just wanted to say just a few words. I know we're running a little behind schedule, and the band is certainly waiting to happen. But it was a very long process, and the state makes it a very difficult process in a way. The application was about that thick. And about 3 years ago, when the state first came up with the program, we came up with the idea that this is a wonderful area. This certainly fits within the program. We should try and apply for it. And we had talked about it for a while, and nothing seemed to happen. And then along came Bob. And he heard about the idea, and every time I saw him, it was a conversation about getting the cultural district application done. And I've got a huge imprint on my backside of his foot pushing me to get the groups together. And it wasn't just the Scituate Harbor Business Group. It had to be a collaborative between the Chamber of Commerce and the Historical Society, Economic Development, and especially the town itself. And Patricia Vincasi was a big part of helping to put this together. And it happened. We got it done in time. Unfortunately, Bob is physically not here with us, but we're here, so I'm really happy about it. He wanted to share the town with everyone. Bob lived in D.C. and he lived here in the summertime since he was 4 years old. And he always loved coming back here. This was his home. It was, we all know, those that live here and work here know what a wonderful area it is. Bob always wanted to share it with all his friends from around the country. Whenever he'd come by the shop, he had visitors from out of town. They'd come by the shop. I met so many wonderful people from all over because of Bob. He wanted to share it. He loved sharing it with his friends, with his children. In that light, we want to share this district not only with the people that are around us now, but our future, and that being kids, children. And this year, the Art Walk, we didn't include any real activities with kids other than the band. But going forward, we want to keep Bob's spirit with us in this, and we're coming up with an Emerging Artist Award starting next year. It's going to be in Bob's honor. And we have this wonderful poster from this year's event. Next year, we're going to include the high school arts program. And we're going to have a second poster drawn up, and we'll have a competition for high school artists to come up. And the winner of the award will have the poster created, and he'll receive the Bob Serino Scholarship Award. So that starts next year. And that will go on with everyone's support for a long time to come. With that, we have an auction coming up in a few minutes, 6:45, whatever the time is. The proceeds from this wonderful piece of art from local artist Sergio Raffo, Sergio will be donating part of the proceeds to the cultural district, and that will be the seed for future endeavors with the scholarship. So I want to thank you all. Those that are here to participate in the auction, please be generous if you can. Those that aren't here for the auction, I appreciate your attendance. Please visit Front Street, enjoy everything that's here. Thanks for coming.